Here's an example of one of my Bredli enclosures, and this is probably one of my favorite ones, and this animal utilizes everything in this because they like to climb so much. But I have a lot of climbing things even on the floor and then of course at the top. But honestly, one of their favorite things to use are these elevated sky highs, and that's going to be challenging to figure out how to install if you're using an open air mesh tent of some kind. But all of mine, if they have access to one of these sky hides, they are in it a lot when they're resting. So this is a 5x2x2 enclosure, and I just put a hatchling, not a hatchling, like a baby, directly into this one when she was small, and she's done just fine in it. This is an example of the ferret cage I mentioned. So this has multiple levels, so I'm able to offer, I've got a dirt container on the bottom with a hide in it. There's a humid hide on that level, a sky hide on this level, and then there's 2 additional levels up here where I've got water, climbing branches. This is the basking area. There's another hide down here and another sky hide here. This snake has used all of these levels. Like, I never know where I'm going to find him because he uses the entire thing, and it's 3 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet. You can put 2 of these together, which I intend to do when he gets bigger. You can just take one of the ends off and connect 2 of them together. Now here's an example of where I am using a mesh, and this is for a baby. She's only a year old. She's still really small. Not even sure where she's at the moment. But you can't attach things to the walls or to the roof or anything on this. So I've just improvised to make her ledges and shelves. And that's okay for a small baby that doesn't weigh a lot. I've got a tub in here that provides a space where I can put some shelves and that she can climb on. So this, I feel, oh, there she is. She's inside that log. That she sleeps there a lot during the day, and then at night she usually comes out here and sits as high as she can get on that stuff, and she loves to climb around this brown paper. So you can attach anything to these meshes, but as far as allowing light through and warmth, and they work fine because these are meant to be outside and allow sunlight through. And of course you can't hold humidity in here. She has a humid hide down there that I provide for her, but you don't have to worry about that too much with Bredls. As long as they have access to large water and a humid hide, they're just fine. The issue with keeping an adult in one of these is you would have to improvise a way to provide sky hides and ledges and shelves and stuff really up high because they like to climb. And I'll show you an example of that. So I do have a Bredl's python in this open air tent, and it's a tall one. Now he's gonna outgrow this lengthwise, but he loves to use this to climb in, and he will use all of the levels. I think it's 5 feet tall. He has a humid hide way up at the top, and then just various things on different levels. So he likes this and he uses it. Something this tall and wider will be perfect for him when he is fully an adult. Here's an example of one in a glass enclosure. The problem with the glass enclosures, I mean, she loves this. She has all these levels, all these climbing things. This snake actually came from Nick Mutton as a 2-year-old. The glass enclosures like this is 3 feet wide by 3 feet tall. And you can't really find glass enclosures too much bigger than this. So she actually, at some point, I need to move her into a longer enclosure because she's about 5 feet long and she's in a 3 by 3 by 2, but she loves everything about this enclosure so much that I am investigating options that like would give her maybe an opportunity to have an all glass enclosure that I could custom build that's bigger, or maybe I can find one somewhere. But this is just an example of a glass enclosure. So if you were getting like the baby from Nick, he could stay in a glass enclosure for quite some time because they're slow growers. They don't grow super fast. You could start raising him up in a glass terrarium and then build from there. So these are just a few examples. We also do have Bredl's pythons in Zen habitats, and they come in a 4x4x2, and then you can connect them together by taking the walls off and putting two end on end together. This Bredl's is in a 4x2x2 Zen right now. He likes to hide between his cork bark and the wall, but I mean, there's lots of options for the species, but you really want to make sure that they have climbing opportunities, sky hides, ledges, and then when they get to be adults, they need a 5 or 6 foot space minimum to stretch out in.